When you speak to learners about what concerns them about their driving test, one of the biggest areas that comes up is normally to do with the manoeuvres, and one of the biggest concerns is often reverse bay parking, which is a shame due to the fact that it's only actually a very small part of your test. Here we have two examples from tests that actually happened at Maybush, neither of which looks like it's been done in a very efficient way. One of them was classed as a pass, one of them was classed as a failure. Post in the comments which one you think was the pass. The best way I find to do this manoeuvre is to try to keep things as simple as possible, at least while you're learning. So, using the standard angle method, I have started teaching in a way that breaks each of the different sections of the angle method down, so that you take it very, very simply, and a different way of thinking about each of those sections so that you're always aware of what you're needing to do next. Now, the way I'm teaching this using things like stride steering, which is not good for the health of the car, should hopefully be something you only use at the beginning, and as you get better you would move into using more standard techniques of keeping the car moving and steering on the move. Now, the four sections of the angle method are creating the angle in the first place, driving back in a straight line, straightening the car up so it's parallel to the bay, and then driving straight into the parking space that you've selected. Within each section, I want you to think about 5 different things. Firstly, what do I want to do? What stage am I trying to work towards? How do I do that stage? What do I need to do to the car to enable me to achieve it? Where do I want to get to? What is my next reference point? Where do I need to be looking to achieve that reference point? All-round observations, so we're making sure that it's safe to move the car, and then Nike, just do it. Now, in the example you're seeing here, we are going to be doing a reverse bay park into a space on the right hand side. Your first reference point is that so you as the driver are at least halfway into the empty space that you want to go into, or closer to the second line. You also want to be as close to the bays as possible to maximize the space that you have available to work with. Once you are happy with your starting position, you want to start working through the process. Starting with what? What do I want to achieve? Well, I want to create an angle. How am I going to do that? I'm going to put the car on full lock to the left and make sure the car is in drive. Where do I want to get to? Using the right wing mirror, I want to imagine that I can see the line that is created by the body of my car going back in a straight line so that it crosses the first corner of the bay I want to go into. You can see in the diagram the line of the body that you should be looking for, and the example of the picture in the wing mirror shows that that body line cuts the corner of the bay perfectly. We then go back to the start again. What do I want to do? This time I want to go back in a straight line. How do I achieve that? Well, I need to put the car into reverse, and I need to center the steering wheel so that the car will go back in a straight line. Where do I want to get to? I want to get to the point where my rear tyre is just cutting over the corner that we were lining ourselves up with before. Once you set up the car and you're clear with where you're trying to get to, all-round observations, and then Nike, just do it. In this example, you can see in the blind spot mirror, which is pointing down towards the bottom of the car, shows that our rear tyre or pivot wheel has cut the corner. You can see the example here from outside the car. If you have the opportunity, I'd even cut this more if at all possible. If you're finding this useful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for all future content. Once again, we go back to the start of our thought process. What do I want to do? Well, this time I want to straighten the car up. How do I do that? Well, the car's already in reverse, so we don't need to change that. But now I'm going to steer all the way to the right, full lock to the right. Where do I want to get to? Well, I want to use what I see in front of me to help me work out when the car is straight. Use bay lines, cars, anything you can see to help you work out when the car is straight. When you're comfortable that you know what you're wanting to achieve, all round observations to make sure it's safe, and then just do it. So for the final stage, what do I want to do? Well, I want to go straight into the bay. How do I do that? Well, the car's already in reverse, so I just center the steering wheel so that the car goes back in a straight line. Where do I want to get to? Well, I can use the bays to the side of me to help me work out when I am at appropriate level in. Using the lines at the top of the bays, as you can see in this picture, it should appear somewhere just underneath the wing mirror. Then all round observations, and then just do it. Now, with a small amount of practice in an empty car park, you should be able to get quite consistent results using this method in a short space of time. If things don't go quite as well as you'd hoped, you can see an example here of a correction where all we do is we just drive forward in a straight line, as simple as possible. Then we're going to put the car into reverse. We're going to put quarter of a steer on in the direction that you want the car to go. So if you need to get closer to the line on the left, you do quarter of a turn to the left, all round observations, and drive the car backwards and allow it to correct its position. You would look in both of your mirrors to see when the back wheels are nice and evenly spaced within the bay, and then remember that your car's angle will be a little bit skew-if, so you would need to steer in the opposite direction to bring the nose back round so that the car was straight, once again looking in front of you to use lines in front to help you with understanding when this is. As you get more comfortable knowing the process and also the reference points, you would like to think that you would start doing this more on the move, keeping the car flowing, and this would also enable you to be able to use more of a steering on the go technique. Remember, when you're reversing, you should be looking in the direction that you're going. That means if you find yourself just looking in your mirrors looking for your reference points, you need to stop doing that and then look out of the rear window so that you can see if there's anything that you are going to cause a danger to. Now, if you find this method useful, you'll be pleased to hear that you can use this same process with some slightly different reference points to help you with your parallel parking as well. So if I get sufficient views and comments and likes on this video, I'll do another video that helps you prepare for doing your parallel parking on your test as well.